Welcome to Success Drips Clues. This podcast is all about leveling up your mindset, your opportunities, and your life. If you're ready to think bigger and move smarter, let's get into it.
The best idea wins. People love to think they're logical, rational, objective, driven by facts. They're not. Most people cling to the first idea that felt right and never question it again. Not because it was true, because it was comfortable. We don't just hold on to ideas, they sink into our thinking like grooves in old pavement. The more we follow them, the deeper they wear in, and the longer we stay on that road, the more it feels like it's the only way forward. That's why people defend bad ideas harder than they fight for better ones. At first, we notice alternate routes, maybe even consider them, but they seem out of the way, inconvenient, even threatening. The road we're on feels easy and safe. It requires no effort and no thinking, so we just keep driving. And over time, the exits don't vanish, we just stop looking. That's how we get stuck, not because we refuse to take a different road, but because we've convinced ourselves there isn't one. Because the longer you travel one path, the harder it is to see another. And that's where people lose, not when they make mistakes, but when they refuse to change course. Ever wonder why some ideas seem impossible to shake, even when you know they're bad? At first, we chose the familiar idea because it's easier. It doesn't challenge us, it doesn't force us to grow. It lets us stay exactly where we are, unchallenged, unchanged, and unbothered. Then, our brain locks it in, not because it's right, but because it's efficient. Your brain's main goal isn't truth, it's energy conservation. It builds habits, forms shortcuts, and prioritizes what's easiest to recall. The more you think something, the easier it becomes to think it again. That's neuroplasticity in action. Neuroplasticity makes you great at learning new skills, but it's also why bad ideas stick. Repeat a belief enough times and it becomes automatic, not because it's true, but because it's comfortable. Your subconscious doesn't care about truth. It runs on repetition, even when the voice feeding it is yours. That's why you cringe at things you used to believe. A social media post you thought was genius until you read it years later. That one outfit you swore made you look cool. A song lyric that you used as a life motto until you actually lived a little. The problem is, new awareness doesn't erase old wiring. Your brain doesn't delete the old road just because you decide to take a new one. And that's why change feels so hard. You're not just choosing a better idea, you're fighting against years or even decades of automatic thinking. Ever driven home without remembering how you got there? Your hands did the work, your foot hit the gas, but your brain, it checked out. The road's so familiar, you don't even have to think. Now, imagine driving on an unfamiliar road for the first time. Every turn feels like a gamble. You don't trust it, you don't know it, your instinct, turn back. That's what happens when you try to change your thinking. The old ideas, highways, fast, comfortable, well paved from years of repetition. The new ideas, dirt roads at best, slow, rocky, unmarked. Your brain doesn't recognize them yet, so they feel wrong. Not because they are, but just because they're unfamiliar. Here's the catch. New roads don't pave themselves. The only way to make them easier is to travel them again and again until they're smooth. That's why changing your thinking is hard. Your brain has spent years, maybe decades, reinforcing the same ideas, making them feel true simply because they're familiar. But here's the real question. Where is your highway actually taking you? If the road you're on leads to nowhere, why are you still pressing the gas? Some people don't just hold on to bad ideas, they defend them. They justify them. They wrap them up in nostalgia, pride, and identity. I've always done it this way. This is just who I am. I've already put so much time into this. That's not strength. That's fear in disguise. If your house was built on a bad foundation, would you defend the foundation or start building something stronger? If your map was wrong, would you keep following it or get a better map? Your beliefs, habits, and choices work the same way. If there's a better idea, why fight against it? Because you've invested time? Time wasn't the cost, your future was. If there's a better way, take it. Master or slave, you decide. The road you're on doesn't define you. It's just the one you happen to take. Don't confuse the journey with the driver. You're not stuck unless you decide you are. The worst mistake isn't taking a wrong turn. It's refusing to change because your ego won't let you admit you're lost. You are both the slave and the master. Master of choices, slaves to the habits they create. So ask yourself, are my beliefs and habits taking me where I actually want to go? If I never had believed this before, would I still choose to believe it now? If I had to defend my beliefs to my future, wiser self, could I? The moment you recognize you're the architect of your reality, you stop settling for second best. Adopt the best idea, no ego, no excuses, just wins. Your brain is always learning, always adapting, and always rewiring. Most people assume change is about gaining new information, but it's not. It's about being the kind of person who can recognize and accept better information. And that means training your brain to work for you, not against you. If your brain has spent years reinforcing bad ideas, it won't just flip a switch because you suddenly get it. You have to intentionally retrain it to adopt better beliefs, habits, and choices. Here's how. Number 1, spot the autopilot thinking. You can't change what you don't notice. Your brain runs on shortcuts, and if you're not paying attention, you'll take the same mental route every time, whether it's good for you or not. Try this. Anytime you have a strong emotional reaction, pause. Ask yourself, am I reacting out of habit or is this actually true? When you justify a belief, ask, did I choose this? Or how did it choose me? When you feel discomfort, ask, is this actually bad? Or is this just my preference getting in the way? The goal isn't to question everything, it's to start recognizing when your thinking isn't serving you. Practice mental rehearsal. Your brain doesn't know the difference between real experience and vividly imagined ones. Athletes, musicians, and top performers use visualization to build neural pathways before they ever take action. Try this. Instead of defaulting to your own ways, imagine yourself responding differently. Picture yourself choosing the better idea, making the better decision, saying the smarter thing. See it in detail, how it feels, how it plays out. The more you mentally rehearse the best version of yourself, the more natural those choices become in real life. Make this intentional. Set aside time in the morning or before bed. Close your eyes and see what you want. Expose yourself to better ideas on purpose. Most people only consume information that reinforces what they already believe. They live in echo chambers, surrounding themselves with the same thoughts, the same perspectives, and the same influences. Try this. Read a book, article, or perspective that challenges what you think you know. Have a conversation with someone who sees things differently from you, and actually listen. Seek out people who are where you want to be, study, and learn how they think. The more you consciously challenge yourself, the more flexible your mind becomes. Break the pattern, physically. Your body and mind are connected. Changing how you physically interact with the world can disrupt mental autopilot. Try this. Take a different route home, even if it makes no sense. Notice how uncomfortable it feels. Use your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth for a week. Change your routine on purpose. Sit somewhere different. Stand when you usually sit. Reverse your order of daily tasks. These small, simple disruptions force your brain to pay attention instead of coasting. And when your brain is paying attention, it's easier to introduce new ways of thinking. Make it a habit. Neuroplasticity isn't something you do once. It's happening right now, whether you control it or not. Every single thought, every repeated action, every reinforced belief is shaping your brain. So ask yourself, what mental highways am I reinforcing? What new roads do I need to take again and again until they become automatic? Your brain will believe whatever you tell it the most. Make sure you're telling it something worth believing. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your mind. You don't rise to the level of your ambition, you fall to your level of mindset. Your mindset is the ceiling of your success. Change isn't about gathering new information. It's about training your brain to see, think, and act differently. Here's a challenge that will prove how quickly you can shift your thinking. The I love you experiment. When you're out in public, silently tell the people you see, I love you. Say it in your mind, no need to weird people out. Say it to strangers, especially when driving. Say it to at least 10 people daily. Now watch what changes, not in them, but in you. Notice the shift in your mood, reactions, and perspective. Feel how your brain starts rewiring in real time. This isn't just an experiment. It's proof that you control your thoughts, your wiring, and ultimately your life. And if something this simple can shift your perspective, imagine the power of intentionally upgrading your entire philosophy. It won't take long before it's obvious. The best idea wins. If you want better results in life, you need better ideas, and that starts with better thinking. The Self-Work Blueprint will help you build the mindset, discipline, and clarity to make smarter decisions. Get the free 5-part audio series and companion guide by clicking the link in the description. It's completely free. Who am I? I'm a God-fearing husband, father, and firm believer that success isn't about luck. It's about strategy. The people who win in life aren't always the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They're the ones who think differently, adopt faster, and execute better. My goal? To help you sharpen your mind, outthink the competition, and make the right moves. Because in the end, the best idea wins. Here's to you on your journey to becoming the best version of yourself.